question. First of all, we are reading reports of survivors who are hungry, who don't have access to food, who obviously are now left homeless. What's the latest on the island?
Well, thanks so much for having me on. In the United States Virgin Islands, we were fortunate that we had FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, was embedded here in the territory. We had put in stocks and provisions for, a fixed period of time so that there could be food and water. What has happened to date is that there are now 3 naval ships that are here that have brought in Marines. The Navy is here, additional support from Department of Defense. They're looking at moving trees, supporting this. We've done a really good job of preparation, and most of our buildings have been to code because of the previous hurricanes, Hugo in '89 and Marilyn in '95. But because of the ferocity and the ferociousness of this hurricane at Category 5, there were things that we just could never have prepared for. We lost our hospital. Most of St. John has been decimated. 70% of our utility system on St. Thomas and all of it on St. John are now just obliterated. So what's happening is not only is the federal government on the ground, Coast Guard, and those others that I talked about, they're working in conjunction with our Governor Kenneth Mapp, along with our emergency management agency to coordinate efforts from the federal level and to make sure that the National Guard is reaching those individuals that they need to.
So what you're saying is you have enough food, enough water, the medicine that you need, all those supplies. You're not lacking in those areas?
Well, what we're doing right now, on top of the federal government and local, there is, of course, a tremendous amount of support that's coming from the private sector. Additionally, the Virgin Islands, which has been part of the United States for 100 years, means that we have a great number of Virgin Islanders that are living in the States. Those organizations and those associations are collecting, working together to ensure that cargo ships, freights are coming down with what's needed for the emergency relief effort. What we're now working on is distribution, because of course that's the difficult part. We live on an island, ensuring that things get back and forth where they need to. It was some time before the Coast Guard was even able to clear the ports of sunken vessels, debris. I mean, just the amount of boats that were pushed up against there really made it difficult to get to the ports. So those things are happening now.
Let me ask you about a little bit looking forward here. What percentage would you say of the structures on the U.S. Virgin Islands were damaged or destroyed? And I mean, is it fair to say it could take years?
I think it's fair to say that it would take years. I'd be really reckless in giving an estimation, but just from my cursory view of it, I'd say that 60–70% of the island of St. Thomas and St. John have been damaged, if not more. That's minimal that we're looking at when you're talking about hospital, fire stations, post offices, airport, air traffic control, really vital areas as well. And you talked about the browning that's going on those other islands. It's completely brown because the salt blast has really just burnt everything off. We have diesel in our bays and in our ports. And what people also have to remember is we're now heading into our tourist season. This is where a lot of our financial and our economic growth comes from. We lost an oil refinery in 2012 on the island of St. Croix, which increased our unemployment to 18% at that time. And so we've really relied very heavily on tourism. And when you look on St. John, Caneel Bay, which is one of our greatest resorts, is obliterated. So this is going to take a lot of work, a lot of support from both the federal level. I've been on the phone talking with Leader Pelosi and also talking with those who are in Ways and Means and others about tax relief packages, of talking with Transportation and Infrastructure Committee about a package to support the infrastructure. We're going to need permanent homes built. We can't have temporary homes here on an island. Those are all the things that are going to take a tremendous amount of work and are going to be years in the making.
Well, we wish you the best. We've seen so much destruction, not just on the islands of the U.S. Virgin Islands, I should say, but the British Virgin Islands as well. Thank you very much, Congresswoman Stacey.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for being concerned. Thank you.
I mentioned the British Virgin Islands because the damage there is also extremely extensive. I'm joined on the phone.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Thank you so much.